Welcome to the Ultimate Sports Blog Podcast. Today is Friday, August 17th, 2018. Today I'm going to recap yesterday's baseball games, look ahead to today's games as well. Go over last night's NFL preseason games, look ahead to tonight's preseason games, go over a quarterback injury that took place in one of the preseason games last night. And I'll do my college football coach rankings. Alright, here we go. Baseball. The Rays defeated the Yankees 3-1 as they improved to 62-59. The Yankees dropped to 75-46. Blake Snell improves to 14-5. Masahiro Tanaka drops to 9-4. Adam Kolarek gets his first save of the season. The Mets absolutely destroyed the Phillies in Game 1 of their doubleheader, 24-4, as they improved to 52-67. The Phillies dropped to 66-54. Chris Oswalt improves to 2-2. Ranger Suarez drops to 1-1. The Cubs defeated the Pirates 1-0 as they improved to 70-50. The Pirates dropped to 61-61. John Lester improves to 13-5. Ivan Nova drops to 7-7. Pedro Strop gets his 10th save of the season. The Nationals defeated the Cardinals 5-4 to end the Cardinals' winning streak at 8. The Nats improved to 61-61. The Cardinals dropped to 66-56. Tanner Roark improves to 8-12. Luke Weaver drops to 6-11. Coda Glover gets his first save of the season. The Rockies defeated the Braves 5-3 as they improved to 65-56. The Braves dropped to 68-52. Sang-Won Oh gets to 1-0 as a Rocky. Brad Brock drops to 0-1 as a Brave. Wade Davis gets his 33rd save of the season. The Phillies bounced back and beat the Mets 9-6 in Game 2 of their doubleheader as they improved to 67-54. The Mets dropped to 52-68. Zach Eflin improves to 9-4. Steven Matz drops to 5-10. Sir Anthony Dominguez gets his 14th save of the season. The Rangers defeat the Angels 8-6 as they improved to 54-69. The Angels dropped to 62-61. Matt Moore improves to 2-6. Justin Anderson drops to 3-3. Jose Lorec gets his 3rd save of the season. The Twins defeated the Tigers 15-8 as they improved to 57-63. The Tigers dropped to 50-72. Trevor May improves to 1-0. Francisco Liriano drops to 3-8. The Royals defeated the Blue Jays 6-2 as they improved to 37-84. Toronto drops to 55-66. Brian Flynn improves to 3-3. Sam Gaviglio drops to 2-6. The Diamondbacks defeated the Padres 5-1 as they improved to 67-55. San Diego drops to 48-76. Tonight's games you have at 6 o'clock Mets Phillies. Noah Syndergaard and Aaron Nola, that's probably the best pitching matchup on the board tonight. 7 o'clock Rays Red Sox. Ryan Stanek and Brian Johnson. Blue Jays Yankees. Marcus Stroman and Lance Lynn. Marlins Nationals. Dan Straily and Max Scherzer. Cubs Pirates. Cole Hamels and Trevor Williams. Orioles Indians. David Hess and Carlos Carrasco. Giants Reds. Casey Kelly filling in for the injured Derek Rodriguez against Anthony DeSclafani. We'll get to injuries in a couple of minutes. Rockies Braves. Kyle Freeland and Sean Newcomb. Angels Rangers. Odriosmer Despaigne against Drew Hutchinson. Royals White Sox. Jacob Junis and James Shields. Tigers Twins. Matt Boyd and Kyle Gibson. Brewers Cardinals. Freddie Peralta and Jack Flaherty. That's a very big series, by the way, as well as perhaps the biggest series of the weekend. Astros Athletics. Charlie Morton and Edwin Jackson. That is going to be a great series and a great game tonight. Also at 10 o'clock, you have the Dodgers and the Mariners, Walker Buehler and Wade LeBlanc, and Diamondbacks Padres. You have Robbie Ray and Joey Lucchesi. Couple injuries real quick. I mentioned Derek Rodriguez of the San Francisco Giants. He was placed on the disabled list due to a hamstring injury. That's a big loss for San Francisco. Rodriguez was pitching himself into the conversation for National League Rookie of the Year. He's really done a nice job in that rotation, and he looks like a future piece for them going forward. Another injury is Joey Votto. It was just announced by the Reds. He's been placed on the disabled list with the right lower leg contusion. And one more big injury. This is a huge injury. Trevor Bauer of the Cleveland Indians could be out for the rest of the season with a stress fracture of his right fibula. That would be a huge loss for the Indians. If that's true, they better go out and get somebody on the waiver wire, or else they are not going anywhere in October. Trevor Bauer is a big part of that rotation. He's an outstanding pitcher, a pitcher on the rise, and Cleveland better go out and get somebody cheap on the waiver wire. Whether that could be Matt Harvey, he would be an interesting fit, or somebody along those lines. Maybe Gio Gonzalez can rework some past performances. Could be an interesting name on the waiver wire from the Nationals. Maybe Jeremy Hellickson from the Nationals. So the Indians have some options out there to replace Bauer somehow. NFL preseason, 3 games last night. One of them was on ESPN, and the other 2 were not. The Redskins defeated the Jets 15-13. That was the game that was on ESPN. The game ended on a field goal for the Redskins. Sam Darnold, 8 for 11, 62 yards and an interception. Teddy Bridgewater looked pretty good. 10 for 15, 127 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. Alex Smith had a nice little first drive with the Redskins, although that resulted in 3 points, 4 for 6, 48 yards. Colt McCoy saw a lot of action, 12 for 16, 140 yards and an interception. The Patriots defeated the Eagles 37-20. Tom Brady looked like himself out there, played the whole first half, 19 for 26, 172 yards and 2 touchdowns. Brian Hoyer, okay as well, 5 for 13, 32 yards and a touchdown. Nick Foles, 3 for 9, 44 yards, and he was injured after the game. He hurt his shoulder and will undergo tests. Foles comes out and says that the shoulder feels pretty good. Nate Sudfeld saw a majority of action, 22 for 39, 312 yards, 3 touchdowns, and an interception. The Packers defeated the Steelers 51-34. Aaron Rodgers looked like Aaron Rodgers of old. Only played on 1 drive, 2 for 4, 35 yards and a touchdown. Deshaun Kaiser looked good. 7 for 12, 149 yards and 2 touchdowns, competing for the backup role against Brett Hundley. 6 for 9 with 77 yards. Ben Roethlisberger didn't play due to a concussion. Josh Dobbs, 12 for 18, 192 yards, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Mason Rudolph, 5 for 12, 47 yards, a touchdown and a pick. They already got into the Foles injury. I don't think it's anything serious. You have a couple games tonight. You have the Giants at the Lions, the Chiefs at the Falcons, the Bills at the Browns, the Dolphins at the Panthers, the Cardinals at the Saints. To me, a storyline to watch tonight is whether Saquon Barkley plays or not, because he injured his hamstring in practice this week. I'm not sure you'll see him, but somebody you may see is Odell Beckham Jr., so keep an eye out for that. I'm interested to see how Patrick Mahomes looks against the Falcons. I'm interested to see Baker Mayfield play again against Josh Allen. Ryan Tannehill's going to see some time. I'm interested to see the Panthers offense, and then Josh Rosen you'll see tonight against the Saints and Drew Brees. So some intrigue tonight within the NFL preseason schedule. Now I'm going to do my college football coach rankings. I'm going to go from 130 to 1 because it's more fun to go from last to first. A lot of these guys toward the bottom of the list are first-year coaches or second- or third-year coaches that really haven't shown much success. 130 is Dana Dimel of UTEP. 129 is Mike Bloomgren of Rice. Those are two first-year head coaches. As well as number 128, Steve Campbell of South Alabama. 127 is Everett Withers of Texas State. 126 is Brett Brennan of San Jose State. It's 125, Sean Lewis of Kent State. 124, Mike Jinks of Bowling Green. 123, Brad Lambert of Charlotte, a coach on the hot seat. 122 is Mike New of Ball State. 121 is Bill Napier of Louisiana. 120 is Chad Lunsfield of Georgia Southern. 119 is Matt Viator of Louisiana Monroe. 118 is Jonathan Smith of Oregon State. He's a first-year coach. 117 is David Beatty of Kansas, certainly a coach on the hot seat. 116 is Jeremy Pruitt from Tennessee, first-year coach. 115, Herm Edwards, Arizona State, first year as a college head coach. 114, Lovie Smith, Illinois, certainly a coach on the hot seat too. 113, Jay Norvell, Nevada. 112, Nick Rolovich, Hawaii. 111, Scott Montgomery, East Carolina. That's a coach on the hot seat, as well as a coach that's ranked 110, who is Randy Edsall of Connecticut. 109, Luke Fickell, Cincinnati. 108, Tony Sanchez, UNLV. 107, Tim Lester, Western Michigan. 106, Sean Elliott, Georgia State. 105, Lance Leopold, Buffalo. 104, Chuck Martin of Miami of Ohio. 103, Kalani Stick of BYU. I think that's a coach on the hot seat. 102, Chris Creighton of Eastern Michigan. 101, Mike Sanford of Western Kentucky. 100, Josh Heupel of UCF. That's a first-year coach. 99, Frank Wilson, UTSA. 98, Terry Bowden of Akron. 97, John Bonamigo, Central Michigan. 96, Matt Luke, Ole Miss. 95, Joe Musgrove, Mississippi State, first-year coach there. 94, Chris Ash, Rutgers. 93, DJ Durkin, Maryland, who I think is about to be fired. 92, Turner Gill, Liberty. First year in the FBS, and he's done a nice job with that program. 91, Joe Moglia, Coastal Carolina. They're in a bit of a transition into the FBS as well. Mongolia's done a nice job with Coastal Carolina back when they were an FCS school. 90, Mark Whipple, Massachusetts. 89, Tom Allen, Indiana. 88, Derek Mason, Vanderbilt. 87, Pat Narduzzi, Pitt. Certainly coach on the hot seat there too, as well as 86 on this list, and that's Barry Odom of Missouri. And 85 is a hot seat coach, and that's Cliff Kingsbury of Texas Tech. 84, Jeff Collins, Temple. 83, Mario Cristobal, Oregon. There's a first-year head coach. I think he's going to do a nice job. 82, Seth Littrell, North Texas. He did a nice job last year, as well as coach 81 on this list, Butch Davis, FIU. He got that team to overachieve. 80, Jay Hobson, Southern Miss. 79, Mike Bobo, Colorado State. 78, Matt Well, Utah State. 77, Jeff Tedford, Fresno State. 76, Major Applewhite, Houston. 75, Mike Norvell, Memphis. 74, Justin Wilcox, Cal. 73, Blake Anderson, Arkansas State. 72, Neil Brown, Troy. 71, Bob Davey, New Mexico. 70, Jeff Monken, Army. 69, Scott Satterfield, Appalachian State. 68, Rod Carey, Northern Illinois. 67, Bob Wilder, Old Dominion. 66, Troy Calhoun, Air Force. 65, Bill Clark, UAB. Nobody did as good of a job with a program that wasn't in the FBS for football for a couple years than Bill Clark. I think he did outstanding last year with UAB's first year back in the FBS football after they took that leave of absence. 64, Dave Clawson, Wake Forest. 63, Mark Stoops, Kentucky. 62, David Cutcliffe, Duke. 61, Steve Adazio, Boston College. 60, Dino Babers, Syracuse. 59, Chad Morris, Arkansas. 58, Doug Martin, New Mexico State. 57, Craig Bull, Wyoming. 56, Jason Candle, Toledo. 55, Skip Holtz, Louisiana Tech. 54, Rick Stockstill, Middle Tennessee. 53, Doc Holliday, Marshall. 52, Rocky Long, San Diego State. 51, Matt Rule, Baylor. I expect Baylor to be a better program going forward. Last year, just everything went wrong for them, and I thought Rule was a great coach at Temple. 50, a coach on the hot seat, that's Larry Fedora of North Carolina. 49, Willie Fritz, Tulane. 48, Sonny Dykes, SMU. 47, Philip Montgomery, Tulsa. 46, Frank Solich, Ohio. 45, Mike Leach, Washington State. 44, Dave Dorian, NC State. 43, Bronco Mendenhall, Virginia. 42, Paul Johnson, Georgia Tech. 41, Ken Namatolo, Navy. 40, Bobby Petrino, Louisville. 39, Ed Orgeron, LSU. 38, Dana Holgerson, West Virginia. 37, Mike McIntyre, Colorado. 36, Lane Kiffin, FAU. 35, PJ Fleck, Minnesota. 34, Willie Taggart, Florida State. 33, Scott Frost, Nebraska. 32, Jeff Brom, Purdue. 31, Matt Campbell, Iowa State. 30, Lincoln Riley, Oklahoma. 29, Will Muschamp, South Carolina. 28, Charlie Strong, South Florida. 27, Kevin Sumlin, Arizona. 26, Clay Helton, USC. 25, Kirk Ferentz, Iowa. 24, Pat Fitzgerald, Northwestern. 23, Brian Harsin, Boise State. 22, Kyle Whittingham, Utah. 21, Gus Malzahn, Auburn. 20, Mark Richt, Miami. 19, Jim Harbaugh, Michigan. 18, Chip Kelly, UCLA. 17, Paul Chryst, Wisconsin. 16, Tom Herman, Texas. 15, James Franklin, Penn State. 14, Bill Snyder, Kansas State. 13, Mike Gundy, Oklahoma State. 12, Gary Patterson, TCU. 11, Brian Kelly, Notre Dame. 10, Mark D'Antonio, Michigan State. 9, Justin Fuente, Virginia Tech. 8, Dan Mullen, Florida. 7, David Shaw, Stanford. 6, Chris Peterson, Washington. 5, Jimbo Fisher, Texas A&M. 4, Kirby Smart, Georgia. 3, Urban Meyer, Ohio State. 2, Dabo Swinney, Clemson at number 1. No doubt about it. Nick Saban, Alabama. Did you have any doubt that Nick Saban wouldn't be number 1 on this list? Well, Saban's got to be number 1. He's won so many national titles as a head coach. He could break Bear Bryant's record, I believe, this year. I think he has a great team, although he lost some pieces defensively. He always finds a way for them to come together. They're certainly going to be a contender again this year, and they're going to be a contender as long as Nick Saban's the head coach of the University of Alabama. That's it for the coach rankings, and that's it for today's podcast. I will not be doing podcasts this weekend unless there's some emergency trade or injury that happens in sports where I have to come on and talk about it. But in all likelihood, I won't be back until Monday talking about the baseball action from Sunday, looking ahead to Monday's games, and I'll also be doing my power rankings and players of the week for baseball as well. And I'll discuss more NFL preseason too. I hope you guys have a great day, everybody.